After waking up at Caberfae Peaks Resort, we set off on day 2 of our Michigan road trip to explore one of the state's most breathtaking destinations, sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. After a good night's rest, we packed up and set off for a big day of adventure across northern Michigan. The plan was to explore sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, a scenic drive along Pierce Stocking Road, a stop at the iconic Pyramid Point, and later a visit to the historic Grand Traverse Lighthouse before reaching Mackinaw City. It's a summer hotspot, and today we'll explore 10 must-do things here before finishing our journey in Mackinaw City. Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore is located on the northwest coast of Michigan's Lower Peninsula and also includes the North and South Manitou Islands. It's one of the most popular summer destinations in the state. Over the course of one day, we explored many of its highlights, 10 must-see spots that showcase both natural beauty and history. Each stop brought something new, from forested trails to panoramic overlooks. Our first big stop was Pyramid Point. This short but uphill hike is about a mile round trip. The first stretch takes you through a maple and beech forest before opening up to the Pyramid Point overlook. From here, you're rewarded with sweeping views of Lake Michigan, the Manitou Passage, and both Manitou Islands. The bluffs have side trails worth exploring, but beware of biting flies. Wearing long sleeves or moving fast is highly recommended. Next, we joined the famous Pierce Stocking Scenic Drive, a one-way 7.4-mile loop through forests and dunes. The first stop was Glen Lake Overlook, where we admired the sparkling 130-foot-deep Glen Lake. Its bright blue color comes from groundwater rather than hillside runoff, making it much clearer than typical lakes. Early morning is the best time to avoid crowds and enjoy this remarkable view. A little farther along was the Dune Overlook, offering wide views of Lake Michigan, the Manitou Islands, Sleeping Bear Bay, and Glen Lake all at once. Standing here feels like you've discovered the entire region in one sweeping panorama. We continued on to the Cottonwood Trail, a 1.5-mile walk through sand dunes. Decades ago, dunes mobiles used to drive through here, but now it's a peaceful hike across rolling desert-like hills. The Lake Michigan Overlook is one of the most famous spots in the park, standing 450 feet above the lake. The views are stunning from the wooden deck or from other nearby vantage points. While it's tempting to run down the dune, the National Park Service strongly advises against it. The climb back up is brutal and rescues happen often. The dunes here reminded us of landscapes we had seen in places like Death Valley, but with the majesty of a freshwater sea. Right next to it is the Sleeping Bear Dunes Overlook, which tells the legend of how the park got its name. According to Native American lore, a mother bear and her 2 cubs swam across Lake Michigan. The cubs drowned, becoming the Manitou Islands, while the mother bear reached shore and formed the giant dune. Once 230 feet tall, wind erosion has reduced it to about 100 feet, yet it still stands as the symbol of the park. The last overlook along the scenic drive was North Bar Lake, where you can see the lake itself divided from Lake Michigan by a narrow sandbar. It's a popular swimming spot and offers views of the Empire Bluffs. In winter, people even used to ski down these dunes, which is hard to imagine when you're standing on top of them in the summer sun. The scenery from here blends dune, forest, and water in one perfect view. From there we stopped at Esch Beach, where Otter Creek meets Lake Michigan. It's a beautiful stretch of shoreline with views of Platte Bay and the Empire Bluffs. While not all areas of the park allow dogs, this beach has a designated pet-friendly zone to the right of the entrance. The water is crystal clear, and the backdrop of dunes makes it a perfect place to relax before heading to our next adventure. Empire Bluff Trail was another highlight, a 1.5-mile hike through maple and beech forest that leads to a dramatic boardwalk overlook. From the top you can see North Bar Lake, South Manitou Island, and the vast waters of Lake Michigan. Depending on the season, the trail is dotted with wildflowers, making it even more scenic. If you have extra time, it's worth following the trail farther along the ridge for even better dune top views. Of course, no visit to Sleeping Bear would be complete without the famous dune climb. Located on the eastern edge of the dunes, it's a 3.5-mile trek out to Lake Michigan that can take up to 4 hours round trip. Even climbing the first dune is a workout, but the views back across Glen Lake and the surrounding forests are incredible. The farther you go, the better the views get. Running down is fun, but climbing up in the summer heat is truly a challenge. The sand here is incredibly soft and deep, making each step twice as hard as walking on a trail. It feels like hiking through an endless desert, with the lake hidden far beyond the horizon. Many visitors stop at the first ridge, but those who push on discover rolling dunes, wildflowers, and ever-expanding views. Be prepared with plenty of water, sunscreen, and good shoes. This hike demands both stamina and patience. When you finally reach the top of a dune ridge, the payoff is unforgettable. Behind you, Glen Lake sparkles like a jewel, and ahead, Lake Michigan slowly comes into view, shimmering in the distance. The sense of accomplishment is as rewarding as the scenery itself. And the best part, running down. Charging downhill through the sand feels like floating, your feet sinking yet flying with each step. It's pure joy after the effort of the climb. Before leaving the park, we visited the historic village of Glen Haven. Once a busy port, it now features a beach with views of the Manitou Islands and the Cannery Boathouse Museum. After exploring Sleeping Bear, we continued north to the tip of the Leelanau Peninsula to see the Grand Traverse Lighthouse. Built in 1852, this lighthouse guided ships through the treacherous waters of Lake Michigan. Today, it's a museum that lets visitors climb the tower, explore exhibits, and enjoy sweeping views of the lake. It was a quiet and historic stop after a day full of hiking and sandy climbs. From there, we made the scenic drive to Mackinaw City. The route passed farmlands, charming small towns, and glimpses of the lakeshore. By evening, we arrived at Waterfront Inn, located at 109 South Huron Avenue, right along Lake Huron. The sun was setting, casting golden light over the water. Watching it from the inn was the perfect way to close out an incredible second day of our Michigan adventure. Tomorrow we'll head over to Mackinac Island for a day of ferry rides, horse-drawn carriages, and historic charm. But that's for day 3. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep following along. This Michigan road trip is just getting started.